All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Hey boys and girls, we are going to talk about S&W shooters and prospectors. What is S&W shooters and prospectors?
We at S&W Shooters and Prospectors help people find treasure.
Did you say treasure?
Yes, treasure. Just listen to this amazing review from our happy customer, Jackie Sparrow.
Chuck was shipshape and a pleasure to deal with. I was able to buy everything that I needed at prices that were shillings less than others. I found my 9 pieces of 8 in no time. Savvy?
I know you're asking yourself, why should I shop at S&W Shooter and Prospectors?
Chuck Smalley has over 45 years of metal detecting experience. He works with each customer one-on-one to customize their setup to match their skill level.
So if you always dreamt of being a pirate, contact Chuck at S&W Shooters and Prospectors and he'll take a great deal for you.
Eye patch and rum not included.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right. We're back. I think we're live. I hope. So now we'll have to see what happens. So, welcome to Interactive Radio. First off, I guess, is the audio getting out? Okay. So we're seeing confirmation in the chat the audio is getting out. Yeah, testers. Yep. Testing. Anyway, so you folks wanted it back. You asked for it back. And we said that we would try and get it back. So while Chuck's away, we're going to play a little bit. We're going to see how things work. And unfortunately, you folks are no stranger to it, just like any other time that we have gone through changes in the show. When you change something, you don't know what could happen. It could work okay. It could be absolutely catastrophic and the internet as we know it ends. Or it could be a little bumpy and we have to do some tweaking and tuning. Some of that I'll be able to tweak and tune real time. While the rest of it, we'll have to see what happens. I don't know. We'll have to see. Call it a beta test. I mean, either way, in order to pull this off, we've got to run a baseline so I know where to go from there. So that's what we're attempting to do tonight. And there are a few reasons. I mean, one, you folks have waited on it long enough. I've been trying to figure out where to start with it. So we wound up, we put it onto this system yesterday, and we're going to see how it works on here. And depending on how things go, that'll dictate whether or not anything needs to be tweaked, tuned, whether it needs to go to another system that can better handle the taxing operations on the processor and RAM. Because in order to pull this off, I've got multiple tabs open, and that's another thing. If I don't know, if we have to go to a different system that can better handle things, I'm going to lose almost a foot of screen space. And hey, call me strange, but I'm all about screen space. I mean, I'd carry a cell phone the size of a card table if I could figure out a way to keep from breaking it. So, unfortunately, I can't. They don't make them like that yet. Not for people like me. Tam likes to say, they make mil-spec, but they don't make Josh-proof. So, who knows? I don't know. But either way, I have to do a trial run. Then I have to be able to go back and listen to that trial run to see what is going on. Do I need to drop the noise floor? Do I need to change this? Do I need to add noise gates? Compression? There's a lot of different things that go on with stuff like this. And when we were strictly audio, yeah, there were a lot of things going on. But once I had it dialed in, you kind of set it and forget it. Well, then we come over, we combine audio and video to some extent. I mean, obviously, this system was geared very well for audio. It is not geared for audio and video simultaneously, apparently. It doesn't like to handle it very well. It taxes the resources. But that's what happens. That's how it goes sometimes. So we'll see. And from there, we can better determine what is going on. Either way, yeah, as people see in the chat, my arm is on fire. Seems like I decided to almost literally kick a bee's nest. And by the time I realized what had happened, they had already, lack of a better term, 3 or 4 of the little bastards got me in the same spot of the arm. And it's pretty warm. Thankfully, I'm not allergic to bees. I just don't. I have an aversion to being stung by them. Call me strange. Maybe I don't like certain types of pain. Who knows? Either way, it had to been multiple succession, because these were not. I mean, these are the type that, one and done. They sting you and fall over. So we got to go out and try to clear the bees hive from under the mailbox where they've apparently been hiding for quite some time based on the size of the hive that we drug out. I don't know. Hopefully nobody walks by the mailbox for a little bit because they're liable to get high off of carbon choke cleaner fumes, but it happens. Either way, I see that looking into the chat, there are people dropping in. Obviously, we see Ohio Relic Hunter, the Bortners, Jason. Looks like we're starting to get them in. Yeah, we're starting to get them in over on Facebook too. Good to see. Usually I leave the following of the chat to Chuck, and he can track all of that real time. For me, I'm just going to have to stay over on the YouTube side. That way, with the format and the theme of YouTube, it's just a little easier for me to follow the chat, with it being basically high contrast on my end. It's another reason why I like a large screen. That's the way it is. I don't know. Anyway, I digress. Moving on. So in order for this to work, we're going to test this tonight and see. And if things go okay, well then, even if Chuck can't get a decent enough connection to do video while he's in Alaska, we should be able to pull him in over the phones, as long as I can remember how to do such a thing. I mean, it's been a little while for me here. Maybe I'm a little rusty. So we'll just have to see what happens. And here is where it becomes truly interactive. Because in order for us to complete our baseline test and see how things are working, first off, I'm going to check the chat here and see if the audio has been holding okay or not. So if everything seems all right, then I guess we'll move on to the next phase and see how things go. All right. Well, looks like we've got the green light. Audio's awesome. I saw where Shannon earlier had actually made a comment. She wondered if let's see here. Okay, she wondered if Ethel was going to be calling in. No, I don't think Ethel's around. Hopefully. You never know. Who knows what sort of can of worms you open up when you try to do something like this. I don't know. And Phil and Shannon got out the other day. They were out with the triple score. Looks like Phil's first dig was a 67 quarter. Yeah. It's not quite silver. It's almost silver. It's just clad. It's close to silver. But it was still a quarter. Beats a pull tab. So congratulations once again to Phil. And I do think I don't know. I thought I heard mention of Steve in the chat. Not sure. Either way, Detect America did a great job. Delek and Mark were on Monday, and good show. Good show. Delek and Mark, they always make for a great show. Good guests. Definitely good guests. Delek is an absolute fireball. I don't know how she has the energy to do all that she does. Who knows? Do not know. I believe Mike Boyles was one of the winners Monday. So congratulations to him. All right. So, moving on so we can figure out how this all works. And like I said, I guess disclaimer, this could be a short show tonight, depending on how things go. We'll see. But we're trying to get everything dialed in so that we can see what's going on. Yeah, not so sure that'll happen, Jason. I mean, he can definitely talk barbecue. He can definitely talk barbecue. But I don't know that that'll happen. I think he likes to keep his chef tips to the chat. But I don't know. Who knows? Either way, I think, yeah, I'd say I think we've rambled on enough to test this side of the audio and everything. So now we get even more interactive because now we need one brave soul to jump on the hand grenade and use the call-in line that we used to use and see if things work. Because once we incorporate the call line, the audio could sound one way, but then once a call comes in, it could dramatically change the audio. Could make the audio worse. I don't know. And I see that some people do not remember the call-in number. That is funny. That is funny. I'm sure that Ohio Relic Hunter still remembers it. He doesn't miss a beat. He doesn't miss a beat at all. But that's okay. Let's see what happens. Maybe. How is it going? And
is this Domino's? I've been waiting 35 minutes for my pizza.
35 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a good thing it's not 30 minutes are free anymore.
I'm telling you.
Okay,
no, everything sounds good.
Really?
Hello.
Hello. We've got...
How are you?
We've got a few people on.
Uh-oh.
I'm trying to figure out how it is that, that's interesting. I've got an extra feature showing up on the screen. Either way, here comes, now I've got to check the chat. Can everyone hear Phil and Barb okay? Of course, I guess at the same time, likewise, Barb and Phil, can you two hear each other okay?
Talk, Phil.
Barb, can you hear me?
I can now.
Wonderful. Awesome.
Okay.
How you?
We'll get a whole party on here.
So apparently you two can hear each other clearly.
Yep.
Yes.
No echo, no anything.
And if it's bad, it's because I'm in the living room on my cell phone, and, I got one bar right now.
Right, yeah. Usually you have to stand on one leg, stick your tongue out, and everything else to get a connection.
Exactly.
But you two sound exceptionally clear, at least to me. I'm not seeing anything in the chat. Maybe I missed it as far as how everybody sounds.
No, Barb sounds clear, you sound clear, and everybody's saying on the chat that...
Yeah, I'm reading the chat
clear.
on my... Yeah, Tam says everyone sounds clear.
Well, how about that? So the listeners asked for it. The listeners got it. It looks like we now have brought the call line back to the show. So now those who do not want to be seen on video, well, we can still do it the old school way and bring them in through the phone.
Oh, God, you did this just for Bill Marsh.
No. I mean, Bill, I think he can hardly do through the phone either. I think when it used to be when he called in, he had a stack of fresh shirts ready for him and probably could have used a little kiddie wading pool.
Yeah, but it would have been worse if he was being seen on the show.
I think that would equate to we would see the perfect portrayal of a deer in the headlights.
Yep.
Now, one thing I haven't noticed in the chat is whether or not the audio is breaking up any for anybody.
No. Bill says both calls are good. Steve P says it sounds good. Tam said it sounds good. Jason says sounds great.
I hear the beginning of the show when I first called in about dominoes in the background for some reason.
I didn't.
Well, old music. You know,
it might have been because he was
connection I've got.
Now you were probably on ignore while he was answering my call.
Yeah.
You never know. Either way, though, I guess basically it sounds like everything's working. So maybe I should just leave well enough alone. We'll lock the settings in, and this is the way we'll keep it. Then if we do need to get Chuck on over the phone while he's in Alaska, we can get that done, and people should be able to hear him clearly.
Yep.
Outstanding. So I guess since we've got you both on here, when is your ring hunt, Barb?
Well, this is the problem. I do markets on Wednesday and Friday. I mow my father-in-law's on Monday. His yard looks better than my yard right now. And the man gave me his address, and I Googled it Monday, I think. And it's like South Asheville. I'm like, where's South Asheville? Because I just north, south, east, west in the mountains sometimes is difficult. Well, he's way out near the airport. So that's probably going to be an hour and 20 minutes maybe. And it's been 88, 90. And so I'm going to call him this week, and it'll be in the next week or two. He's in no hurry. It's in his garden. And
right, yeah. I mean,
I'm just trying to...
He lost it apparently while he was gardening. It's in his garden. It's not going anywhere. You've got this. It's just narrowing it down and getting it for him.
And he lost it a year ago. And he tried to find it with a Harry homeowner metal detector. And I was going to go Monday because Bub has a doctor's appointment. But then when I seen it's like over 30 minutes away from the doctor's, I'm like, that's just way too long of a day for him in the car.
Right, yeah, you're going, that just won't do.
Yeah, so once I seen how far away it was, I'm going to look at the weather. I got one more day at my father-in-law's, and the pressure washing will be done. And then I can look at the weather and try to find, you know, a day that it's not 90 degrees to go over there. Because he wants to chat. So I need to do it on an afternoon that I've got the whole afternoon. Because he's just so excited about...
plenty of free time for this.
Yeah, I don't want to go find the ring. Thanks, see ya. He's like, I really want to talk to you. I mean, he was he out talked me on the phone the 2 times I've talked to him.
I didn't realize that could be done.
I know, right? And so I want to go when I have an hour or two to dedicate to him, to sit and chat with him.
Right, yeah, because, I mean, the way the post sounded, this guy definitely is a talker, and he definitely wants to talk.
Oh, he does. He talked. I was in Massachusetts, and when he finally took a breath, I said, "Sir, I'm in Massachusetts, and I'd love to talk to you when I get back in North Carolina, and just give me a call, and we'll get together." But what's funny, he must have liked my profile because there's 2 ring finders in Asheville, and he chose me over an hour away.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
He sounds old. He sounds maybe in his 80s. And a lot of times older people are just more comfortable calling a girl.
That's true. You do have a good point.
Yeah, so. But once I get a date, I will post it. I will let you know for sure. I want to give him time because he wants to tell me all about he said grandfather, but even if he's 80, it would have to be,
yeah,
it could be
that old.
Yeah, I've tried to put the years. I'm like, okay, if everybody got pregnant at 20, would this be his grandfather or great grandfather?
Right.
Who was a general, and I think I found the right guy. I'll know when I meet him. He was stationed in Virginia in the Civil War. His whole family's from Virginia. And he's just really big on Civil War history. So it'll be really interesting to sit and chat about him. He was like, and definitely look him up. It's real interesting. So I'm sure he's going to say, did I? And I'm going to say, well, hopefully I found the right, person.
Right. Yeah, understandable. But definitely you'll have to keep us posted on that. I would imagine you should have that one in the bag, no problem. And then we'll have to get you on the show to talk about a ring return. Hopefully. So we'll see what happens. And apparently Barb must have lost her signal. And then there was Phil.
I'm still here.
All right. So, what can you tell us about the triple score?
It's a lot different than my 800, that's for sure. I watched Quarter Hoarder's intro last Thursday or something like that, but by the time we got out swinging, I forgot everything. So I was playing with all the buttons, and I was completely lost. But it's light. Sounds good. I think I'll like it once I get the hang of it, but it is very different than the 800.
Nice.
I started out with the Simplex, and that worked out very well for me. And then we went to the 800, both of us, and now we've got this triple score. And I'll get back into it, figure out how to put my tones and settings, and I'll get there.
Right.
But at least I found a quarter, and like you said, not a pull tab.
Yeah, I mean, hey, beats a pull tab all day long.
Yeah. And I got a couple mason jar lids, but that's just junk.
Well,
So,
that's kind of a given, though. Everybody digs those. They just sound too nice.
oh, yeah. I thought I had a couple big silvers. We went out to this little farm that we've hit really hard with the 800s. And Shannon had found a suspender clip. It's pretty old, but
Nice.
at least I got a quarter out of it. wasn't any big deal, but at least I got something with
Hey,
my first dig.
you didn't get skunked.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of raining on us too, so I didn't have for the first 3/4. We were only out there for about an hour and a half. Probably for the first hour, I didn't have headphones on, and I've never hunted like that before. I don't really care for that. I like headphones, so that was kind of different.
Right, that makes sense. I can understand that. And did Shannon get to try the triple score?
Well, I let her touch it, but he didn't swing it too much. Like I said, it was kind of sprinkling out, and we didn't want to knock the headphones out.
Right.
So she didn't care for that either. The tones coming out of the machine. We'd rather both have headphones on. But yeah, she swung it a little bit.
Nice. Well, it sounds
Yeah, we need
like
to get some Aquatex for that triple score.
right.
Those do work pretty well. I'm kind of partial to those on the 800.
Oh, absolutely. Everything sounds so much louder.
Louder and clear, and yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They're definitely a good pair of headphones. And
That's going to get cooler out here in the next few days. Hopefully, I'll get to quit painting for a few days and get out and swing a little bit more. And hopefully we'll go to a different farm or something to see if we can't find some silver.
Who
Who knows?
see. Right. Just have to wait and see what happens.
Yep, exactly.
And hopefully
But
it all works well.
yeah, I figured out why I was getting the show started again. I'm on speaker on my phone, and then I had the show playing too. So the show was in the background. So now everything's good.
Ah, okay. So the what you thought might have been a massive delay or something is gone.
Yeah. Yep. Sounds awesome now.
Good. Well, I think I'll lock these settings in then, and that way we'll have everything ready in case we need to use it for Chuck. And we've got it for future episodes now as well. We can just pull them in over the phone if they want to call in, but they don't want to do video. Hey.
But I would block a certain number from New Jersey. Steve something or other. I'd block his number. So I'm sure that will be echoed or something.
You know, I've tried, but there have been so many aliases, so many new numbers, and I really think things would be so much simpler for the guy if he'd quit getting restraining orders taken out against him.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, Steve's a good guy. Good guy. So, I think that gives me enough that I'll be able to go back and listen and see how things went. Hopefully they went okay. From what I'm
Sounds
seeing,
very good. There's no lag over here or anything.
yeah, I was going to say, from what I'm seeing in the chat, what I'm hearing on the phone lines, everything sounds surprisingly clear.
In Spreaker, there's a terrible lag. This doesn't seem to be lagging at all.
Well, and I've heard from other people too that during the days of Spreaker, there was not only was there a lag, but there was usually a little bit of echo too.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I ever picked up on it over on the Spreaker side back in the day, but I've heard from a number of people that there was, and I'm not picking up on anything tonight either, but it doesn't seem like there is.
No, this sounds like we're just talking on the phone. This sounds really good.
Right, where on Spreaker it didn't sound like we were just on the phone. So...
Well, hey, I'll get off this and see if somebody else in another part of the country wants to call in and see how that works.
All right. Thanks for the call, Phil. Good luck with that triple.
Hey, I hope you had a wonderful birthday, bud.
I worked on the computer to make sure that we could get the calls in for folks.
Well, did a wonderful job. All right, have a good night, buddy.
You too.
All right, see you.
Well, so that seems like that worked out okay. Although it is interesting how I have an additional screen. I'm not sure how that happened. I'll have to watch that in future episodes to see what goes on there. Obviously, too, with bringing back the phone lines, disclaimer, people are going to have to remember sometimes there can be a delay in you calling and it actually getting through to me. Some people, for whatever reason, it would just go to voicemail and they may have to call a few times before it gets through. I've heard a few different issues in the past for people. Tonight, it didn't look like we had that issue. Whether or not we did, I don't know. Whether or not that continues to be the trend, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Either way, though, from what I was able to catch in the chat, the feedback from the chat, as well as the feedback over the phone lines, from what Phil and Barb had both said, it seems like everything is good. I don't know how, because believe me, there's a lot of buttons and switches that you have to have positioned the right way to get everything to work. It took a considerable amount of time yesterday to try and get things set to where we could have the call-in capability brought back to the show. And that was one of the things that I really did kind of miss from the audio side of the podcast. But apparently now we see tonight that we've gained that back. So now we still have the phone capability like we did from the podcast. And we've also got the video capability somewhat. Chuck's more photogenic anyway. And speaking of which, to answer your question, Richard had asked earlier just how old I was. Thanks to everyone for the kind birthday wishes yesterday and all of that. To answer Richard's question, I'm a tad older than dirt, but I moved in shortly before the mountains did. Actually, people used to tell me they wanted to know if I had issued Moses his Social Security number. So, who knows? I was around to see it happen. His Social Security number was like 3, by the way. But either way, I am definitely glad to see that everything seems to be working well. So, I think we may just go ahead and call it a wrap. Because it is getting close to that time anyway. And, we're hungry. What can I say? Not to mention the fact, well, I could stand to do a little something. Could stand to do a little something with my arm. It's a little painful, definitely. But before we go, how are you, my friend?
It's time to cut the BS there, birthday boy. How are you?
How's it going?
It's going good. Listen, seriously, why would you have Phil Bortner on your show?
Well, we needed more insight on the triple score.
If that's the only reason, man, that's okay. But I mean, he really shouldn't be allowed to broadcast. That's just my opinion. I mean, I thought there were things in place that said he couldn't. I mean, but hey, listen, what he did to me at Dig It Dude last year, I guess we'll let bygones be bygones, but I'm still in therapy.
Right. Well,
so how was your birthday?
We're kind of gregarious around here. We'll let anybody in.
Exactly. I know. You let Frank on, you might as well let everyone on. How was your birthday, buddy?
Well, like I said, I sat here in front of the computer and tore the audio all down and tried to set it up to where we could have people call into the show like they used to, like they would.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. I had to let it ring for like an hour because you knew it was my number, and you were like, do I answer this or do I not answer this?
Well,
you made a mistake picking up.
I was still trying to get that 35-minute late Domino's pizza out to Phil.
What is Chuck Smalley doing in Alaska?
What's he doing in Alaska?
Yeah, did he go to Anchorage?
He will be there at some point, I believe.
I saw that he was going.
Right now, he's probably in Nome.
Is that where he's winding up? Is up in Nome? He just laid over in Anchorage.
Oh, he could be in Anchorage. I know.
Because.
Well, actually, by this point, yeah, I don't know. They may have made it out to the camp, the AKAU camp.
That one's in Nome. So, yeah, because when I was in Anchorage and we were driving, I saw a camp, a prospecting camp. We drove by it, and I saw that, and I didn't think that was where he was going. But then I saw on Facebook that he was flying to Anchorage, so maybe that was just a layover.
Yeah, it could be, because they all meet up. I think Kevin got in about an hour and a half before the rest of them.
Yeah, they're headed to Nome. I'll tell you what, man, those flights, oh my God. I flew over 4,000 miles.
Yeah. But when you got there, wasn't the scenery worth it?
Oh my God. Listen, that was one of the best vacations I ever had. I have never been on a vacation where I was, how do you put it, relaxed and rejuvenated the whole time. I had such a great time. And mind you, like I said, I flew out there and my wife was next to me the whole time, and I still had a great vacation. So that's got to tell you something. And we had such a good time. It was nice. And, you know, I had no time to go metal detecting out there because I'm with my family. We had an itinerary. So, you know, I just had a great time. And Chuck's out there with a detecting itinerary, so he's going to have a ball. And I know they don't just detect up there. I saw them were salmon fishing. They got it made out there, man. You know, if anyone ever has a chance to go see that state, you will not be disappointed.
Oh, yeah.
Will not be disappointed.
Usually when Frank Juarez goes up there, he'll prospect for a couple of days, and then he'll fish, too. And
right. They do other
he winds
things.
up feeding the camp, and boy, do they eat good.
But it's just the scenery and even the wildlife you see that just makes it like really like super awesome. And the best thing was Frank was 4,000 miles away from me. That was the best part of my whole trip. The best part. Could you imagine? Let me tell you something. It's bad enough driving from Jersey to Florida with him. Oh, I would have killed him in Alaska. There's no way I could have drove in Alaska with him behind the wheel. Nope, it wouldn't happen. I'd throw him off a cliff. I would throw him off a cliff. But, you know, if anybody gets to, you know, I would love to go with Chuck and do the metal detecting thing too. But, you know, this trip was with family and you know, you don't get much of a better time than being with family, you know? So.
Right. Yeah,
and then I got word now my brother's coming to Jersey in August. So, you know what? The funny thing is, he used to make fun of me because I metal detected. Then he was like, let me try it. Well, you watch. I'm going to have him out. I'm going to be doing broadcasts with him, detecting out on the beach in a couple weeks. You'll see.
There you go.
You'll see.
There you go.
Yeah, because he'll be staying at the beach. And I'll be like, yeah, come detecting with me. And then maybe I could sneak the phone on, turn the phone on, and sneak it and get him on. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, there you go. Teach him how to play the Tide game.
So what did you think about our show Monday? I was bummed.
A very good show. I'm not sure what issues you perceivably thought you were having with your connection, but on the viewers' end, everything was fine.
Well, and that's what was weird because on my end, Frank and Delek and
Mark.
Yeah, some of them. Mark were freezing up on my end, and I couldn't understand what they were saying. It was choppy. So, and thankfully, listen, Frank knocked it out of the park with that interview too, because he must have doubled his dose of Prevagen for the day, because the guy really did well. And I don't ever say anything good about him because there's nothing good to say, but he did well, and it was so nice that Delek and Mark came on it. They are so awesome. They're awesome.
Oh yeah. And they always make for a great show. They're great guests. Delek is just an absolute fireball. And now with having Mark on board as well, they're kind of an unstoppable force.
He has been great to us. He has been great to you. They come on and the shows they always have are just knock them out of the park. The customer service she has towards the detecting community is, she's great. She's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping.
I really think she kind of put it best Monday. I mean, you can tell listening to her, these are not just numbers. They're not just customers. It's kind of like a big extended family.
Right. And Now, this week we're attempting to get Steve Moore on the show and some guy named Kay George King. We don't know who this guy is, but we're willing to give him a chance on our show to come on. And then the week after, we're having my you got to be there with Mark Hoover and Gary Penta because you don't get two better guys than them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we're doing our best. And
great.
We know it's summertime and viewership is down, but we got a really impressive viewership Monday night. So we're hoping the next two at least come in, and then we're trying to get someone else. I don't know, but we'd love to have guests because it makes me feel like I'm delivering some kind of content to the folks out there. You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, we all know doing the shows, like you said, during the summertime, the listeners kind of drop down the amount of participation because everybody's out trying to get their dig on. I get it.
I don't even want to listen to our show in the summertime. Remember, it happened a couple times. Remember the one time I was out detecting and I forgot we had a show, and I had to log on from the car as we were driving home. That kind of happens.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm not gonna lie. There have been a few times where I've been out detecting during the summer and went, you know what? It's nice out here. It's peaceful. I'm having a good time. I'm just gonna continue to try to find some goodies, and I'll schedule an archive.
Yeah, because you know what? What do? I run home on Monday night to be harassed by people like Phil Bortner. All he does is knock me in the chat and say stuff about me.
Well,
but the Jersey Shore is starting. I have my detecting experiences on the Jersey Shore have been like, I feel like I'm on the Sahara Desert, man. And I've been out and I just haven't found anything yet. But you know what? When you're out there and all you can think is perseverance, just, I jump in the water's starting to be beautiful. The beach is a lot cooler than it is, at my house. And, I've been getting out and taking a lot of nice walks.
Yeah. I mean, at least you get that aspect of it. You're out there walking, you're getting some exercise, stuff like that. If you make a nice find, hey, even better.
There's a lot of people out there. I know things are being dropped. There's a ton of people out there. So my advice to some folks is, listen, when I bought a metal detector, I thought, I'm going to go to the beach and find I'm going to find hordes and hordes of gold rings. And then when you get into the hobby, there's a little bit of a culture shock where it's not necessarily so.
Right,
but
yeah, not everybody goes out and pops a diamond ring their first day out.
No, or the second. You got to persevere, and you got to kind of look at the hobby at a different perspective sometimes to say, look, it's not, and that's why I enjoy the beach kind of more than, like, if I was out in the fields out here, and I don't know how they do it in Florida. Those guys, man, they're out there digging in some of the hottest weather and digging dirt. Digging the beach is kind of a combination of detecting and enjoying yourself because you can walk along the water's edge, feel the cool breeze. I jump in the water. I don't care. I'm out there swimming. And then, you walk the sand, you walk the surf. There's just a little more to it than being out in a hot farm,
True enough.
And then you have the opportunity that you may find something, you know what I mean? So, and then last weekend we went down to Atlantic City and we got to hang out with Ronnie and Lisa.
Oh,
we went
nice.
Out, we went out, had a nice meal. We're planning again. Whenever Ronnie comes down, we meet up and we didn't get to detect this time, but we hang out and we had a nice meal. We sat on the boardwalk and had a bunch of laughs and stuff. So it was just a nice time. That's why I say anyone that's coming out to Jersey, man, I'm gonna give them the hospitality when they come. If I can't meet them up on the beach or meet them up wherever they're at, I'm gonna give them the best advice on where to detect.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, obviously, and I've told people the same thing. If they happen to make it to my neck of the woods, I'll do what I can. Get them on a spot.
Well,
Hopefully, they find something
yeah,
good.
if I come to your neck of the woods, I'm moving in. Yeah, me and the whole family are coming. We're moving in, and we're going to stay with you for about a month.
Right. Eat all the chips.
Yeah.
Drink all the beer.
I'm sure you'll answer the phone when I call there. Hey, Josh. Yeah, it's Steve. Pick up your phone. I just landed near your house. Yeah. I see that return call coming in real quick. It's funny. But listen, you got a great show. I'm going to forget that you had Phil Bortner on, and I'll tell everyone to watch your show from here on in.
Okay. Well, because I know
everyone tune into Josh's show except when Phil Bortner's on. When Phil is on, it's time to put sharp pieces of bamboo in your fingernails. So other than that, the show's great.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, it's bad. He's bad. He's a bad dude. So, all right, I'm going to say goodnight to everybody. Thank God Frank's nowhere near, because we don't like him either.
Yeah, see, Frank has no clue what we've done over here. He has no clue that he can now just pick up the phone and call in.
And you need to stay off the uglygearusa.com website, because that site stinks. Let's not watch Detect America. That show's horrible. And that's all I can say about that.
Well, either way, good job Monday.
You're the man, buddy. Thanks. Have a good night, everyone. Talk to you soon.
We'll see you, Steve.
All right, bye.
See, there again, another test. It does apparently work just fine. That's a good thing, right? Either way, if you enjoyed the show, make sure and hit the like. Get out there, try to find something if you can, if you dare. Post up the pictures. You know how we love to see them. And now that we've got the callability back, who knows what may come. Have a wonderful evening, folks. We're out of here.
We sure are glad you found us here tonight. Thanks for dropping by and joining in. If you like metal detecting, treasure hunting, gold prospecting, or even entertaining discussion, check us out Wednesdays and Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on your favorite podcast distribution services.